Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Minis Battle Armor He-Man vs. Mer-Man. That's right, the MOTU Minis get their own line of action figures after last year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack featuring He-Man and Skeletor. Although, this new version is slightly different than those. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first set. As you can see, the figures come on really cool blister card packaging, featuring this really nice looking kind of bright green background, and the blister just shows both figures on the inside, along with the Collect and Connect Castle Grayskull piece. That's right, every set in this series will come with a part to build a cool little mini Castle Grayskull facade. So we'll just go ahead and start by taking a look at that piece right there. The He-Man and Mer-Man set comes with a pretty important part of the Castle Grayskull, being the face part. It's really neat looking, and as you can see, it's just hollowed out on the back side, but it's a really cool, neat, new design that matches up with the style of these minis very well, and when we get this full thing built, I think it's going to be a neat little display piece to put behind all of the little minifigures. Now, the style of these guys is pretty much exactly the same as what we already saw on the Comic-Con versions. You can see that even though He-Man's wearing his battle armor this time around, the way his face is shaped with kind of the silly cartoonic expression on his face there is exactly what we saw before. But this is where things are different, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way right now. It's comparison time. Here's a look at the new Battle Armor He-Man standing next to the San Diego Comic-Con version of the normal He-Man, so you can see the scale difference. That's right, Mattel has actually shrunken down the scale on these versions of the minis, so they are much, much smaller than the ones that we saw at San Diego Comic-Con. The new figures are roughly 2 inches tall, and as you can see, it's quite a big difference. So speaking on the figures themselves, the sculpts and the paint jobs are really good on both of these guys. I love that overall design of He-Man, and the only thing that's different this time around is the fact that he's wearing the battle armor. And it's got a really nice kind of almost metallic-y silver paint job with the nice orange H right there in the center of his chest. It's a really cool sculpt. Of course, he comes with his power sword and his shield, both of which are removable accessories. And then that's going to bring us to Mer-Man, who's a brand new figure we haven't seen done in the minifigure style yet. Again, it's a very stylized look with the really small legs and the beefed up upper body, but a very cool looking figure. He's got a fantastic sculpt and again, a really good paint job. All the colors are very bright and very vibrant, featuring the bright green skin and the bright yellow on his face, his gloves, and the armor that he's wearing. And just like He-Man, he comes with 2 accessories of his own, being his trident and his sword. And one thing that's really cool is you can actually holster the sword on his back, just like on the Masters of the Universe Classics figure. Now, the articulation is very limited on these guys. All you're going to get is the head that turns left and right, the arms that move up and down, and the waist turning. There's no articulation in the legs whatsoever. So, they're not superposable, but little minifigures like this don't need to be. And it's worth noting that even though they've got the really bulky upper bodies and the really tiny legs, the balance is really good on these guys. They don't have any issues falling over. Even when they're holding their weapons, they seem to do a pretty good job. So there you go, guys. There's a look at the Masters of the Universe Minis Battle Armor He-Man vs. Mer-Man, complete with the Castle Grayskull Collect and Connect piece. Overall, I really like these minifigures, but I'm gonna say it's a bit of a bummer that they are completely out of scale with the San Diego Comic-Con versions. It would have been really nice if we could have had a regular He-Man and regular Skeletor that were in the same style as these, and I can definitely see that being a turnoff for some fans who were hoping to get a whole collection of figures all in the same scale. But I guess at least the good news is that all the figures from here on out are going to be in the smaller 2-inch scale size. And honestly, I think the 2-inch scale is a really good size for these. I kind of just wish that this is the way that they started out. Nonetheless, I do think these are still really well done figures, and I'm a big fan of minifigures, so I think it's really cool to get something Masters of the Universe to collect in that scale. Battle Armor He-Man vs. Mer-Man were available on MattyCollector.com in February 2014, so happy hunting, and until next time.